Welcome to the Canadian Business Quarterly podcast, where we speak with Canada's most influential industry leaders on the business and economic development issues taking place across the country. You can stay up to date with all of our content, including our publications, newsletters, and podcasts by visiting www.thecbq.ca and clicking on subscribe.
Today's guest is Ed Gudaitis, President and CEO of TSX and OTCQB listed Acers Pharmaceuticals Corporation. Ed has held numerous senior positions in multinational pharmaceutical companies and has worked in Canada and the United States for the past 25 years. Throughout his career, Ed has been responsible for launching and building billion-dollar pharmaceutical product franchises and country operations. Ed, thanks for speaking with us today.
Thanks, Jesse. Pleasure to be here speaking with you this morning.
Firstly, for listeners, could you explain what Acers Pharmaceuticals does?
Absolutely. Acers is a commercial stage specialty pharmaceutical company. And by that, I mean commercial stage, we have approved product on the market that we're commercializing, and I'll give more color on that as we talk further today. And specialty pharmaceuticals, we predominantly focus on specialists. So not your primary care physician, but products that are predominantly prescribed by specialists, smaller groups of physicians, but more intense and in tune with respect to the patients they're treating and the conditions they treat. So in summation, we're a commercial stage specialty pharmaceutical company. The company's headquartered in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, but our business is actually global. So it's a unique company that way. Although we're headquartered here in Canada, we manufacture and commercialize our core product, the Testo, and we actually commercialize it in a number of global markets, including the United States, Canada, South Korea, Taiwan, and hopefully in the next about 18 months, Europe. In the US and Canada, we commercialize the product directly through our own sales and marketing efforts. And in South Korea and Taiwan, and eventually in Europe, we commercialize through partnerships with local operating companies in those markets. Unlike some other companies in the specialty pharmaceutical space, we're not built on licensing in other people's assets. We actually manufacture and commercialize our core product ourselves. So that's a little bit different than some of the other companies that are out there that focus on licensing in assets, and makes us, I think, a unique proposition as a company. With a little bit of background on the company, we're been around for a while. We've been formed in 2009. The company's gone through a couple iterations of strategy. It was previously called the Trimel Pharmaceuticals Company, but it's about 12 years old at this point. And it was really designed to really capitalize on a core technology, our nasal gel technology, in terms of being able to deliver products a little bit more uniquely than just pills. And that's been kind of the foundation that we've built the company from, and we'll continue to build the company upon.
Okay. And so what problem is Acers looking to solve at the moment?
Well, we actually have a very unique problem in front of us. Our primary market is low testosterone or male hypogonadism, and it's a very large, interesting opportunity for us. If you look just at the United States alone, about 14 million men potentially have hypogonadism in the U.S. It's about a $1 billion prescription product market opportunity in the United States, with about 7 million prescriptions written per year. And the problem in that market, there are products that exist today, prescription products in the market. However, there's no real great product in the marketplace. There's a lot of products with challenges, both in terms of how they're delivered. One of the majority products in the marketplace are actual injections of testosterone. And these are deep, painful injections with a very large needle. And so there's some challenges with respect to being able to have people self-inject the product. There's topical gels, which basically think of it as like a skin lotion that you rub all over your arms and your shoulders each day. And you have to worry about, potentially transferring the product to your spouse or your children. You have to let it dry for 20 minutes. It absorbs differentially and not evenly all the time. So there's really a lot of challenges in this market. In fact, one of the things about this market that's unique is that, if you start 100 patients on a particular product on January 1st, by about June 1st, you'll probably have 50 of them staying on the initial product. And by the end of the year, at least 7 out of 10 of those patients that you started will be looking for new options. So it's a very large market that exists. It's already built. Physicians know how to diagnose, treat, and prescribe products, but there's no great product there. And with our product, our nasal gel technology application of testosterone, it is what it sounds like. It's an intranasal product that you apply with a small dispenser, a small amount of drug 3 times a day on the inside of your nostril. But it has unique clinical benefits. It's safer. It has other benefits in terms of its short-acting half-life that provide it more natural sort of rhythm to testosterone. And we think it has more patient-friendly applications. So we've got a large opportunity in front of us, a highly unsatisfied marketplace. And I think we've got a unique technology that with testosterone actually creates a different product than what's out there right now, a unique value proposition. And we think we can solve the problem of this large market being highly unsatisfied, providing a patient-friendly, safer, effective alternative in a very large and growing market opportunity that we can capitalize on.
Okay. I was going to ask you about the technology. You've talked about how it's a nasal spray. You're talking that it's $1 billion market in the US alone. So when we get further into that, what is the opportunity for potential investors?
It's actually, just to correct the comment, it's not actually a spray. It's actually a nasal gel application. So the best way to think about it is it's a little bit like a topical hand lotion that you would sort of put on your hand. It's a gel, but it's a little applicator that you effectively, instead of putting it, let's say, on the top of your hand or on your hands like a hand cream, you just apply it on the inside of your nasal cavity in terms of your nostril. It's not up your nose; it's just into the
Okay.
front part of your nose. And so, interestingly, the amount of blood vessels you have in your nose, it's clearly the intranasal route is something that's been used over time for various applications, both legal and potentially otherwise, in terms of drug products. But it's a very rapid absorption of the product, very quick on off, which is a unique aspect for us. For investors, what makes this opportunity, I think, unique is, one, we have this unique technology. This is an Acerus proprietary technology. It's been licensed in. We hold the intellectual property for it. The actual intellectual property, both in the United States, Canada, and Europe, is very long-ranging. So we have a current suite of patents that would take us into the mid-2020s. We have new patent filings and new patent strategies that we're actively working that would take us into the early 2030s and potentially even into the late 2030s. So we have a unique technology. We have a solid IP formulation around that. And again, as I said, I think the opportunity we have for investors is you think about it from a pharmaceutical lifestyle cycle. We have this sort of 10-year, 12-year run in front of us from an IP perspective. We have a very large, unsatisfied market opportunity, predominantly in the United States. Canada, parts of Europe make up the rest of sort of the big 5 or 6 markets, but clearly it's an opportunity driven by the United States. And it is a product that as I said, the market is built. We're not going in as a company trying to teach doctors how to identify a new disease, teach them how to diagnose it. They've been treating low testosterone for years, so the patients exist. The physicians know how to treat. The physicians know how to diagnose. And the way I always say it then is what we're doing is we basically have a large opportunity and we're bringing a better mousetrap to the table that has clear advantages not only for the physician from a safety perspective, an efficacy perspective, but also the patient with respect to both safety and efficacy and then convenience of use. So I think that's the core thesis here, is that we've got this long IP life. We've got a very large market with a clear entry point in terms of the number of switches that go on because people are not satisfied with what's there already. Physicians that know how to treat, know how to diagnose. Like I said, 7 million prescriptions written just in the US alone in this category per year. And now, effectively, we're bringing a better product with a better clinical story, with a better safety story to the market. And we have to just execute on it and move forward and commercialize it. So I think, if investors are looking for an opportunity, we've got all the pieces in place. We now need to just execute and deliver on that opportunity that's there. But we've got a better product in a large market that's unsatisfied. Okay, guys, go make it happen, Acerus. Let's see you execute and make it happen.
So can you talk a little bit about the board and management experience responsible for the company then?
Absolutely. Let me talk about management first, and then I'll certainly talk about the experience at our board level. For investors with respect to management, I'll focus on 3 key individuals, starting with myself. I have 25 years of experience in the pharmaceutical business, both operating in Canada, but also in the United States. I spent about 11 years with Gilead Sciences as part of my career journey. Some of that here in Canada, building the Canadian operation from scratch to about a $1.2 billion business over a number of years. But also in the U.S., where I was senior director for HIV marketing for a number of years, launching several large HIV products in the U.S. So I come to the table with the direct U.S. launch and commercial experience, but also the experience of actually building an entire organization from the ground up. We've had two new additions to the team. One is Dr. Chris Sorley. He's our Chief Medical Officer. Chris is an endocrinologist by training, board certified U.S.-based endocrinologist. He has recently joined the company as our Chief Medical Officer, responsible for medical affairs and some of our R&D activities. Chris's background is metabolism, and diabetes, also men's health. He organized and set up a large men's and women's health clinic in Billings, Montana. He's from Montana and based remotely there right now. And so he has direct clinical experience treating the type of patients we would be treating with Natesto, but he's also very much been on the forefront of metabolic disease and diabetes, which is an area that we're interested in looking in with respect to Natesto, and will be actively involved with us from strategy perspective, but also working with all of the key opinion leaders in the U.S., of which he is actually one of them. So he's been a great addition to the team from that front. And just on Monday of this week, we announced the addition of a U.S. commercial leader, a fellow by the name of Kevin Hickey. Kevin comes to us with a lot of U.S. launch experience, 15 years of direct commercial experience in the U.S. He's based out of Philadelphia, and Kevin will be responsible for leading our U.S. Natesto business as we go forward. So I think we've got, from a management perspective, people with direct experience in the marketplace and very much relevant experience to our business, to our therapeutic area, and to what we're trying to achieve. On our board, we've made some new additions to the board as well. We have several longstanding board members. Our chairman, Ian Inatowicz, has been our board chair for a number of years. He is our lead shareholder in the company. Ian has about 84% of the company under one of his holding companies, First Generation Capital, and he's been a longtime board member. He's a longtime investor, family foundation, financial person, and been a core part of the core visionary for the company and been supporting the company over that period of time. We have some other longtime board members, an entrepreneur, Steve Gregory, who brings the entrepreneurial side to the table, and Boris Chabovsky, who actually is a healthcare consultancy that he has set up and run here in Toronto. And so he's very plugged into the startup space, the VC space, and the healthcare consulting space. But we've added two new board members recently, a fellow by the name of Scott Leckie, who's our audit committee chair. He's a CA by training, and Scott has a lot of investment experience. He used to run a family office, and so he brings that capital markets investment side to the table. And we also recently added a fellow by the name of Jeff Cotton. Jeff is a U.S.-based commercial and medical affairs pharmaceutical expert. He is an MD by training. He's worked in medical affairs. He's also launched products in the U.S. and run various U.S. HIV businesses, at one point for Gilead, that range up to about $8-9 billion in sales. And he's also based in the Bay Area, so he's very involved with the Bay Area investment and healthcare community. So I think we've got very solid, relevantly experienced management team, and now a board that provides unique perspectives, not only in Canada, but also in the U.S., and not only financially, but also operationally.
Okay, so let's talk about the impact of your team and what your immediate, near-term, and longer-term goals are for the business.
So the impact of the team, I think, is, as I said, I think we've got the relevant experience to take this business and actually make it a success with Natesto. That is our short-term goal, if you want to look at it. I usually describe our strategy in three phases. Phase one is the here and now phase, and really the goal there is to get Natesto moving and get it commercialized successfully in the United States. That's the core platform for the company. That's the core foundation for our business. We will build the company around that success. And that's really what we're focused on doing right now, is getting that product, getting that awareness up, getting that trial and utilization up, and taking advantage of this large market opportunity and this unique product that we have as we move forward. After that, we have now a commercial infrastructure that we've built in the United States. We can leverage that infrastructure by adding a couple of more products to our portfolio. So we are actively kind of in phase 2 right now, also looking at business development opportunities. What else can we bring into our portfolio to complement this investment we've made focused on urologists and endocrinologists in the United States to give us a second or third product opportunity to provide a little bit of differentiation and support from a portfolio perspective, but also to bring in a couple of additional revenue streams to the company. And then really the third phase of the growth strategy for us will be to circle back to our pipeline and bring in some additional products, whether they are something that we can build into the nasal gel technology to have another Natesto-like product in the portfolio, or even something that complements, again, that focus on urology and endocrinology from an R&D perspective, so that at the end of the day, we'll have this growing business and maturing business with Natesto that becomes the engine of the company, that will have a couple of complementary assets that will add around that to leverage our commercial infrastructure and all the investment we've made in management and the board, and that we have something coming forward in the pipeline to give us continuity so that we have, late stage mature product, we have a growth product, and we have some new products. That would be the ultimate goal and what we're trying to achieve both in terms of the short, medium, and long term to build a sustainable, value-driving company for investors.
Okay. And, what lessons do you think that you bring from your own career into the business?
I think three good lessons, and a lot of this was sort of trial by fire at Gilead Sciences. It was a company that was run, very much on the premise of being lean, being hands-on, and being focused on outcomes. And I think that for a small company like Acerus has been something that I look through that lens every day. We have undergone some significant reorganization and streamlining of the operations so that we, at the end of the day, the biggest lesson for me has been you can choose to spread $1 20 ways and give everybody a nickel, or you can choose to give somebody 75 cents, somebody 20 cents, somebody 5 cents, and then after that, nothing else gets funded. So you've got to get some critical mass and you've got to stay focused. Focus on what you can control, keep the business lean, and keep focused on the result and the outcome is one of my key takeaways from my Gilead experience. The other experience I've had is if you look at opportunities, and I personally believe in the Natesto opportunity, it's a unique product. There is definitely science behind it, but what's going to be successful with this product is good old-fashioned blocking and tackling. This is a product where it is promotionally sensitive. The category is sensitive to promotion. If you go in and do the basic executional elements well, build good key opinion leader support, make people aware of the product, have reimbursement in place, have the support systems for physicians and practices to get product to people when they need it, and have patients activated to ask for the product, you will be successful in this category. And I think that's one of the key lenses to look at this through. This is it's a good old-fashioned blocking and tackling product. And with my experience, the experience we've brought in, the experience on the board, I think we're well set up to do that and provide a credible experience for our customers and provide a credible experience for our investors as we go forward.
Okay. And so before we finish today, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Just the only thing, Jesse, I'd like to add is just, again, I think it's a unique opportunity that we have here. There is a full product life cycle in front of us when the whole patent strategy comes to fruition as we go through this year, that we have a 10-year run at $1 billion opportunity that continues to grow, that is unsatisfied with its current products. And I think in hand, we have a better product, a better mousetrap than the competitors. And as I said, I think then it comes down to us and the company. If we do the fundamentals that the people that are here know how to do well, we will make this successful. And I think there's an opportunity here where our current stock price is for investors to take a look at Acerus and see that there's value here. It's potentially not realized, and the time to get into the company is probably now. And there's an upward trajectory here that can be realized. And I think that's the reason I joined the company 2 years ago. I think this is really, there is something here. And that's sort of the message I leave with people is take a look and see what's here. There's a time to get in. The time is probably now. And then, it's up to us to make it happen and reward investors for that confidence and patience.
Excellent. Well, Ed, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you today.
This has been a production of the Canadian Business Quarterly. a division of Romulus Rising Proprietary Limited. All rights reserved. You can stay up to date with the Canadian Business Quarterly, including our publications, newsletters, and podcasts by visiting www.thecbq.ca and clicking on subscribe.